Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we are about to unpack a truly captivating mythological fable pulled straight from our ancient source text. We're going to be looking at an excerpt that explores a really intense test of loyalty, the absolute lure of eternal beauty, and a high-stakes gamble with the gods. It is a story that perfectly blends magical realism with some incredibly deep human dilemmas. So get comfortable and let's jump right into this narrative together. So let's start with this. Would you trade a decrepit partner for immortal youth and beauty? It's a heavy question, right? But this is exactly the profound moral dilemma sitting right at the heart of our source text today. It takes an ancient, sort of fantastical, mythological scenario and connects it straight to the core of human nature. Our vanity, our deepest desires, and our capacity for unshakable loyalty. Keep this question hovering in the back of your mind as we watch this whole ancient drama unfold. Part 1. The Celestial Encounter. Our text drops us deep into these ancient, secluded woods, and it opens with a strikingly vulnerable moment. We meet Sukanya. She's the daughter of Saryati. Now, the text describes her as having excellent limbs, a divinely beautiful damsel shining in the wood like lightning. She has literally just finished bathing, her person is bare, and she is suddenly interrupted in this incredibly private moment. This extreme vulnerability is absolutely crucial here because it completely sets up the power dynamic for the encounter that's about to happen. And who exactly interrupts her? Well, it's these two figures, the Aswins. Before we go any further, let's just quickly anchor who these characters are so things make sense later on. According to the text, the twin Aswins are celestial physicians of note. Interestingly, they're also referred to as the nose-born celestials. They are divine, they are incredibly powerful, and the second they lay eyes on the beautiful Sukanya, they are completely captivated by her. Which brings us to part 2. The indecent proposal. The initial awe of this celestial encounter very quickly shifts into a tense conflict. The Aswins figure out that she is the wife of Chyavana, a man who is basically verging on death, and this brilliantly illustrates the crux of their temptation. Think about her current ascetic life. She's soiled with mud and dirt, unadorned, no nice robes, just serving a decrepit husband out in the absolute wilderness. But the Aswins dangle this entirely different reality in front of her. They tell her if she were decked with every ornament and wearing gorgeous apparel, her beauty would be unmatched, even up in the celestial regions themselves. They are offering her the ultimate divine luxury. And the twins, they really do not hold back. They boldly ask her, and I quote, "Why, O excellent girl, in such plight, servest thou a decrepit old husband, and one that hath become incapable of realizing pleasure and also of maintaining thee?" And then they drop the ultimate indecent proposal. "Do thou, forsaking Chyavana, accept one of us for husband. It behooveth thee not to spend thy youth fruitlessly." I mean, wow, it is a blatant, audacious play to her vanity. They're essentially telling her she is completely wasting her life. So the crucial point here is how Sukanya reacts. And she doesn't hesitate for a second. She doesn't waver. She just tells them, "I am devoted to my husband, Chyavana. Do ye not entertain any doubts." It is just an incredibly powerful, resolute response. She completely shuts down their temptation on the spot, affirming her steadfast fidelity, no matter how physically decayed her husband is. Now, what's really fascinating is how the celestial physicians pivot here. They realize she's not just going to abandon her husband, so they change the rules of the game entirely. They offer a counter deal. First, they promise to use their divine medical skills to make her old husband young and graceful. Second, she has to bring Chyavana to them. But here is the massive catch. Once he is transformed, Sukanya has to choose her final partner from the three of them. So it's no longer just a temptation, right? It has become a massive high-stakes gamble. Part 3. The Water Test. Sukanya takes this wild offer back to Chyavana, and surprisingly, desirous of obtaining beauty himself, he actually agrees to it. This kicks off a truly magical metamorphosis. First, Chyavana quickly enters the water of the tank. Next, the twin Aswins sink into that same sheet of water. The tension in the text literally peaks right here. And then, the very next moment, all of them emerge from the tank. The magic actually worked, but it comes at a terrifying cost to clarity. 3. That is the number of men standing before Sukanya now. Not one old man and 2 celestials. 3 young men. The text describes them as emerging in surpassingly beautiful forms, wearing burnished earrings, and all possessed of the exact same appearance, pleasing to behold. They are absolutely 100% identical. Which brings us to this agonizing narrative cliffhanger. How in the world will she identify her true husband? They speak to her, looking exactly the same, telling her to choose the one who pleases her fancy. Just imagine the absolute weight of this choice. If she guesses wrong, she commits infidelity and loses the very husband she was so desperately loyal to. The twins leveled the playing field so perfectly that her physical senses are practically useless now. Sukanya finds all of them of the exact same appearance, so she deliberates. She really takes her time ascertaining the true identity of her husband through means way beyond just the visual. And finally, she makes her choice, and she actually selects Chyavana. She successfully navigates this impossible test. The relief in the narrative is just palpable. Her unwavering devotion somehow gave her the intuition to recognize the soul of her husband, even when he was hidden inside an unrecognizable identical divine shell. Part 4. The Reward of Fidelity. Sukanya passed the test, but the story doesn't just end with her relief. There is a massive shift in the cosmic status quo here. Everyone walks away totally transformed. Chyavana, the formerly decrepit old man, successfully gains the coveted youth and beauty he wanted. Sukanya gets to keep her beloved husband, but now he's young, vital, and capable of giving her the life the Aswins said she was missing out on. And the Aswins don't walk away empty-handed either. Chyavana, well-pleased and full of exceeding energy, uses his newfound power to reward the Celestials who granted him his youth. He actually makes the twin Aswins quaffers of the Soma juice. Let me explain exactly what that means in the context of our text, because it's a big deal. Chyavana essentially elevates their divine status. He promises them that they will get to drink the sacred nectar, the Soma juice, in the very presence of the Lord of Celestials himself. Hearing this, the highly delighted twins ascend to heaven. It's a massive promotion for the celestial physicians, which really shows the sheer magnitude of the reward they earned for their role in this amazing test. In the end, the text tells us that Chyavana and Sukanya passed their days happily, even like celestials themselves. They bridged the gap between the mortal and the divine through sheer loyalty, which leaves us with this final thought to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. Does true fidelity actually require the ability to see beyond the physical form? I think Sukanya proved that it absolutely does. I really hope this exploration brought this incredible ancient text to life for you. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.